And in the early 90s, I started associating with Harry Everingham and come speak and participate, and eventually it kind of grew into, I see it as a continuation of what Harry was trying to accomplish. Self-sufficiency, we control the government, it doesn't control us. We had different methods and different emphasis that we would have on things, but I tell you one thing, I know Harry believed that, the sovereign was the individual, not the government. So with that theme, what's happened over the years, we've been able to inject into the process, into the thought process of the people, the idea that there is a limited role of government. The promise is that government was going to protect our individual rights. Declaration of Independence. Governments are instituted among men, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. When they become destructive of those ends, it's time to alter or abolish. Okay? It didn't say what kind of government you're going to have. Republic or a democratic society or this, or constitutional, whatever, didn't care. How do you recognize a bad government? When it's abusive to your individual rights. It's bad. As we emphasize this as libertarian candidates, we get called several things. One of Alan's favorite is losertarians. But the thing is that the point that we had is lose what? Electrons, keyboards of a government computer says 25% in a two-way race? Michael, seriously? I'm supposed to have confidence in this? Karen here worked for an office of Karen Johnson and was instrumental in us passing the manual validation for elections. Yay. Yay. But they ignore it. They change it. They, kind of forget some of it. And it wouldn't be prudent at this juncture. And that little part there doesn't matter. And we don't need to. And we've sued in 2008 and this election cycle, in the primary. We've gotten it just to emphasize how bad it really is. So what happens? From all this, you get a movie like Fatally Flawed. I encourage you guys to watch it. You watch Fatally Flawed and you'll see, wow, these guys are guilty. Then what? If you're expecting the government to free you, if you're expecting to be able to vote yourself free, you haven't been paying attention. And it's not going to matter. It's coming down to math. Big discussion this week on radio program was Dr. Ron Paul is going to be head of the Finance Subcommittee on Domestic Policy, Day Law. I get to call Ben Bernanke in and grill him every week. Yeah, maybe. We'll see how this works. So the thing is that, and we're going to what? It's better to have it than not. And to be able to understand what's going on and more education of the people, which is what Dr. Paul understands. He runs for president again in 2012. It's just another speaking tour. Do you think they're going to let him be in? Hell no. But that's not the point. The point is that we continue to do what we've been doing. And I want to share with you the manifestation of that in many ways, but I'm going to use one example to give you an idea. Can you guys help me pass these out? Here, let me have one. I'm going to tell you a story and how everything that we've done over the years, from 15 years ago, libertarian campaigns, libertarians that are involved in their community, how it manifests itself, and it's growing, and why you had such a shift from government, socialism, fascism, statism, corporatism, whatever ism. Got your ism right here. Why it shifted is this. People have had an awakening and understanding of what's happening to them and why. I got a call from a gentleman, I guess it's no longer a secret, his name's Randy. He lives in Fountain Hills. He has a couple of, nickels rubbed against each other. I mean, the boy is not without cash, all right? So what happened is, Randy calls me last Thursday, and he said, a week ago, and he goes, Ernie, there's something going on out here in Fountain Hills, and man, it's just driving me crazy. He goes, what could you do with $1,000 to, I don't know, I can change the planet with $1,000, get $1,000, man, I'm all over it. So he goes like this, he says, this is what's going on. In Fountain Hills, it's an isolated community, it's over the mountain, what do they call that, McDowell Mountains or something? Or
McDowell Mountains.
Sorry, what?
McDowell
Mountains. On the other side over there, Fountain Hills overlooks a beautiful valley. When you go, you know, Salt River Recreation, you're going tubing, or you're going up the Payson, the Bush Highway, and so on. You get over there, it's just open. Been there since I was a kid in the early 70s. The big fountain shoots up hundreds of feet. I remember they used to bring in White Castle burgers, you know, once a year in there, just so guys from Chicago could have all the White Castles. God, these suck, man. They put these on a plane and flew them out here. So the thing is that it's been a separate community that had its own rural metro. You know, they would privately contract for the fire protection. They would privately contract for security. They have just the sheriff is their law enforcement. They tried to do some kind of little private thing, and they booted that out. They are easily booting out mayor after city councilman after, you know, they start doing stupid stuff, man. They're recalled. They recalled their mayor last time. Okay? The guy that comes in, you know, oh, I'm a Tea Party guy. Oh, yeah, I'm less government, Tea Party, conservative, Tea Party, Republican. Right? How many times have we heard that? Oh, and I lean libertarian. I mean, you know, that kind of thing. So what happened was, you have trash pickup is done by 4 or 5 companies out there. You have different trash can colors. You know, they go, oh, but all the trash cans are different colors and stuff. Man, I just smell some freedom. Okay? So what they did is they would have the trash trucks would come on, I don't know, whatever the heck they contract. They pick up the trash, they go to the next one that's their color, they pick it up, boom, done. You privately contracted your refuse. Well, you know, you could recycle if you wanted, you don't recycle, you know, it doesn't matter. They, you know, some of them are more anal than others. I don't like you, you're paying a butt, I want you to come at a different time and schedule, I go with this guy. And the free market just kind of massaged it all out and it worked and they're fine. Paying, I don't know, 10, 15 bucks a month. You know, get your trash picked up a few times, you know, 4, 5, 6 times a month, I don't know, whatever it was, they're happy, okay? Well, here's a money-making opportunity. So you have the big allied waste whatever guys with their lobbyists that have violin cases. And they come in and they said, you know, you need to have one provider like everybody else. You know, you don't need all these trucks going back and forth and dangerous and loud and smelly and whatever excuse they can come up with. They go, you need to have one monopoly. Oh, and it should be us. I just want you to know that. Okay? So they're going in and saying, you need to have one service provider, and you know, we should be it. So they do kind of this rigged bidding process, and lo and behold, yes, we win. It goes through the process, and then by this time, people are starting, like Randy uses Fountain Hills as an example. He goes, Fountain Hills is demanding, I just get to pick my own trash guy. I don't have to, you know, the fire department is either volunteer or privately contracted. We use the county. You know, Fountain Hills was free. Well, it's changing. And if you've been in this valley long enough, you see it happen. It's going on in Quartzsite right now. Big John back there in Quartzsite, man, oh, lots of stories about Quartzsite. Because just like a small community like that, you start getting enough volume, people come, winter visiting, whatever. That goes from like, I don't know, a few thousand people in the summer to like 1 million people in the winter. I mean, it's an ocean of RVs. This is an amazing thing that happens there. Well, there's money to be made if you can force and tax people. So what they did is Apache Junction, you saw it happen, there's a method that they do. They bring in a city manager and a city attorney. The city manager kind of manages everything, and the city attorney goes and beats everybody in the head. And they have these, you know, League of Cities and Towns kind of ordinance thing. They do the, you know, MAG, you know, Maricopa area governments or whatever it is. You know, so they have all this stuff, these mechanisms that they put, well, you have to do this, and by law, you all this, to create a infrastructure that requires them to do all kinds of different stuff. Or they use it as an excuse if they incorporate. And if they don't incorporate, oh, somebody else will incorporate us. You know, Scottsdale will go get them or something. Oh, we want to be our own thing. So it is, I've seen it, I've been here long enough to see it is a planned thing. You bring this guy in, and this guy, and they're all connected. They all know each other. They're all part of the same association. They're endorsed out of something in Chicago, blah, 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 blah. Been through this before. So when this came in, I already knew what was going to happen. This is just the beginning. I mean, it's already started. So I'm going, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is they are going to start imposing all kinds of stuff on people, like HOAs. People go up there to be out of HOAs. Now, there are some HOA communities like condos or something like that. But people say, look, I came here to be out of an HOA, and you're making it an HOA. So this is what we did. He goes, Ernie, this is really bothering me. I mean, of all the things that bother him, the fact that he doesn't get to pick who gets to pick up his trash bothered him. And he goes, if you can make this a big issue in Fountain Hills, you know, I'll cover costs, $1,000, go kick butt. And I go, $1,000? Oh, they're so toast. So what we did is we knew that election day was Tuesday. Tuesday we made these big, some of you may have seen it, it's about as tall as this flag. It's big, those signs like at used car lots, it has a flag, you know, sale here, it's like a big flag. Well, we take PVC, then a 10-foot PVC, we bend it over, put a string on it, so it kind of makes that, so there's about $1.20. Then we get this black vinyl stuff that we get, and it's a reinforced, nylon reinforced stuff they put on lawns and so on, or white, you know, Tyvek or different things, and that's about another, you know, 10 cents, all right? So for $1.20, $1.50, we make these big signs, and we cut out a stencil, we can put whatever we want on it, and we can put them out. Election day at the 5 polling stations, each one of them got at least 2 signs that had this logo on, a little bit different, but you know, kind of more vertical. And all CNI looking down in the trash can, and it says the hills will have eyes. Those signs went up. Laura Harrison and my wife went out and they put those up. Oh, they didn't like that at all. How fast can we get them signs down? Well, they think, oh, crisis averted. What they didn't know is that I knew their trash gets picked up on the Wednesday and Thursday the next 2 days, and that Thursday night was their city council meeting when they were going to do this. So we printed up thousands of these flyers, and we put them under all the trash can lids after they dumped them. So you're going out to your trash can, because this is what you're going to get. You're going to get a big orange notice like this, and you owe us $500. Because the penalty is $500. Subsequent penalties are up to $2,500. You're up to $3,000.
No, they're 50% off. They dropped $250.
Oh, isn't that nice of them? So people complaining about that, and they go, okay, $250 now. So the thing is that when you make a private contract with a company, you determine the deal of the contract. You're not allowed to come on my property. You're not allowed to, you know, bug me. You're not allowed to be past the time. You must do, you can't do, you got to do, whatever. When it's municipal, they, in this legislation, have the power to come on your property, inspect your trash cans, open it up, look into it. You know, then, you know, and it's just going to keep progressing. Where you have things like RFID chips are in all the packaging of your trash. They just go scan. We know everything's in your trash. Or at least the package is what you buy. Then what do? Start getting coupons from Safeway? See my point? Yeah. So they're, by turning over their trash, you know, their bodily fluids that are in there, and their Kleenex and napkins and tampons and Kotex and all of this stuff, you're giving the government your DNA. I mean, it's just all the big brother ramifications of this was, you know, hard to miss. So what we did is we did this. Now, of course, you know, we have different versions of this. This is the Fountain Hills one. Now, at the bottom, aztiphotline.info is a site that we had before we had done this during the Super Bowl when the Patriots and the Giants came, and we got all kinds of Arizona Republic coverage, and we only put out like 40 of them. We had 9,000. We've been, on the 9,000, we give out the activists to show them what we do. We only had to put out 40. Okay, we can do that. We knew this worked really well, and we've held it for 2 years. Then Fountain Hills trash thing came up. The phone number's on here. You don't want it for questioning, call the phone number.